Yo, Kippe Sky here. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and today we have made some new friends at Witseer. They have sent out two projectors for me to talk to you guys about, one being the L1M and the L1B. Now we're going to focus on the L1M. This is a full 1080p projector as well as the L1B. But the M has mirrorcast, meaning you can send your phone screen over to the projector and project your phone's image on your projector screen. So if you have like a slideshow or a movie or a YouTube video you want to present, you can do that wirelessly to this projector. The L1B does not have that feature. That's the only difference in the two. So that's why we're going to focus on the L1M. So let's go ahead and go through a quick overview of this projector. We'll talk about the remote and then we'll plug it up and see what we get. So on the front face, pretty plain and simple, just that lens there. Now it does not tilt or turn or anything like that, so it's not a manual focus, but you do have autofocus in the settings. You have a lot of ventilation for air both on the sides and on the front. These holes also act as a speaker, so you can use this as your main source of audio if you don't want to use like a sound bar or some kind of external audio system. On the top side, you have a power button on the top. This will let you know when what the status is of the projector, whether it's on or off. And then on the back side of the projector, you have your DC input for power, USB, HDMI, and a couple of different audio inputs, so you can connect 3.5 millimeter or whatever you want to use as well. And then on the other side, there's nothing more than just a couple more grills for the speakers. Bottom side's pretty plain and simple as well, just more ventilation, but a really nice projector, pretty solidly built. Again, this is a full 1080p projector, so you're getting a nice crisp image, which is nice to see because a lot of projectors at this price point, which we'll get into in just a second, a lot of projectors at this price point support 1080p, but this one actually projects 1080p. So let's get into the remote real quick and see what we got there. Now both the L1M and the L1B projector share the same remote, at least the same style of remote, so nothing's going to be different between the two. Starting from the top, you have your power button on top left, the mute button top right, your source button, options to change the image. You can flip the image from ceiling mount to front facing to behind the screen, whatever you want to do. Your cursor wheel, up, down, left, right, pause, play, and enter button, the OK button. You have some buttons down here as well, like the home screen, menu, and back button, volume up and down, and then you have your image zoom or zoom out right there from the remote. Easy to use, pretty plain and simple, not too hard to memorize either, and then all the buttons are within thumb's reach for most people, so it should be a comfortable remote to use. It takes AAA batteries, kind of what you expect. Now, besides the remote and the projector itself, the only other accessory that comes inside the box is the power brick. Not too big, not too bad, so you do need this to power up the projector, but once you have that plugged in, you're pretty much set and ready to go. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to plug this up directly to where my current projector is, and we're going to project the image on my screen. We'll go through some of the menus really quickly and take a look at a couple different videos, and then we'll take it from there. Alright, so we are on the home screen of the projector here, and we'll go through just a few of these really quickly. You have the options for external devices, so if you want to plug in like a USB or an SD card, you can do that and then play the video and pictures right from the projector. And then down below you have text. I haven't really figured out what that's yet for, but you do have that option, and then you can play music right from the projector as well. And then your settings. So if you click on settings, this is where you kind of get into some of the deeper things inside the projector. So if you click on picture, this is where you can change your image mode. What kind of picture do you want? A cool picture, a warm picture? Some of your picture settings are here. You can change your aspect ratio. So mine's 16.9, but you can change it to like pretty much whatever you want to, depending on what screen size or screen type you have. Noise reduction, try to make the image look as good as you could, and then the projection zoom. We'll get into that in just a minute. If you go back, you have sound options. You can change the EQ like bass and treble. You can set the time at the bottom, and then other settings here is where you can set like languages, factory reset, screen flip, meaning if you have it mounted upside down or behind your projector, you can change the picture's orientation. And then you have your software upgrades and software information on that menu as well. So if I hit the source button, you have mirrorcast, HDMI, and local. So we're gonna hit HDMI. I have my Fire Stick hooked up right now to the projector. And the image is pretty good. Right now we just have YouTube, and I have it almost perfectly sized to my screen there. And I chose some kind of Mario game somebody's playing just to show off kind of some of the colors. Now this room is probably 95% dark. This is as bright as the projector is going to get. You don't want to use this projector in daytime at all. If you're planning on getting a projector for daytime usage or ambient light, this is not the projector for you. This will do much, much better inside a dark environment. So one thing I want to point out, this may be a kind of a deal breaker for some people. Now, I have my image set to my screen size, but it's not that easy to get correct. So on the remote, you have the positive and negative button on the bottom right side. This is your autofocus. This is how you, or manual focus. This is how you set the image to focus depending on how far away your projector is from the screen and so on and so forth. But if you remember that menu that I was talking about, if I go back to menu and I go to picture, down below we have projection zoom. This actually controls how small or how large your image is. And this is where you'll come to set the image. Now this only changes between 75% to 75% to 100%. So 100% zoom down to 75% zoom. Now you can change this right here from this menu, but as you can see, you don't know what you're doing from this screen. So let's say I need to make this image smaller. Well, I can. I'll shrink it down to 75, but I don't know exactly what I'm doing until I go back to my source, and then I can see what it did. So it's kind of frustrating because you have to go back to the menu and then go back to picture, go back to projection zoom, make a few adjustments, and then once you have it set, you have to go back to your source, go back to HDMI, and then see what you've done, and then go back and forth until you got it correct. It's kind of frustrating, and then from here you can set your image, your focal point from there. So it's doable. You can get it to work. Once you have it set, you're good to go, but it is kind of tedious. You could avoid this with just having a dedicated manual focus lens. It's a lot easier that way. All right, so as far as image quality goes, it's not what I expect. It says that it's 1080p, but I don't know that I see it. And like I said, this is going to be something you want to do in a dark room. You're going to get the best performance in a dark room with this particular projector. But even in a dark room, it still seems pretty washed out. And I'm using a cine-gray screen, which is known for bringing out more of the color. And unfortunately, I don't see a lot of that. I chose to choose a little baby's YouTube video because it has a lot of color to it, a lot of pop. And it seems a little bit flat, unfortunately. It'll get the job done, though. If you're looking for this for, like I said, a kid's room, a playroom, a media room, this is good. If you're looking for like a home theater application, I don't think that this will be the projector for you. It's just not bright enough. I'm about 12 feet away from projector to screen. If that gives you some kind of idea, my screen is 100 inches. And I'm not filled completely up. I'm probably getting a 90-inch screen right now. So it's just not completely what I expected to see. Now, nonetheless, it is a projector, a budget projector. I think about 169 or something like that. So it'll do the job, but have your expectations correct if you're going to look at this projector. It's more for somebody who just wants something to have for a movie night every now and then, have something outside in the garage or whatever the case is. But you don't want to use this for home theater. I don't think that it'll do your movies very much justice. Guys, I don't like making negative reviews about any kind of product. I'm always thankful when somebody sends me out to do something for a review, but I'm going to go ahead and publish this video just so that the manufacturer gets something to, kind of work off of and make improvements, and, maybe they can release something that's a little bit better. It's hard to recommend this only because it says 1080p Full HD, native 1080p, but I'm not getting that. It definitely looks 720, and this video that I'm watching is in 4K, and I am recording in 4K. So unfortunately, it's just not meeting expectations. There are things out there around the same price that are just a little bit better. So I am thankful for the opportunity to review this for you guys, but at the same time, it's hard to recommend it with something so competitive in this price point. So with that being said, guys, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you guys think of this projector. Have you heard of it before? Have you seen it? What were your thoughts on it? Leave me it down below, and then hit that subscribe button too if you're not already. We will see you guys in the next video. K-Base Guy out. Peace.